Hi. Here we are, back again to review yet another Bratz video game release. Introducing Bratz Rhythm and Style. And if we recall the last time I reviewed a Bratz video game on this channel, you might remember I was fairly unimpressed. So honestly, I never expected we'd get another one. But we did. We sure did, and oh man, I'm just so excited for it. No, to put it bluntly, I do not have high expectations for this game. But I do still want to go in with an open mind. I know that negativity is, pretty fun to watch. Trust me, I get it. I really do. But I don't want to be the kind of person who's negative purely for the sake of being negative. Yes, I know I was blessed with this extremely sarcastic cadence that I love to utilize, and I do exaggerate sometimes for the sake of being funny. But the last thing I ever want to be is one of those YouTubers who look at something that is, objectively very feminine, very girly, like Bratz video games, Barbie movies, etc., that sort of thing. The type of person who looks at this type of media and immediately writes it off as frivolous and worthless and just the worst thing on earth. So even though I had such a negative experience with the last Bratz video game, and that is going to color my perception of this one, I still want to give it a fair shake. Or try to. There is one thing I want to address, though, concerning my review of the first game. And it's that I made it very clear in that video that I was approaching that game from the perspective of an adult collector who is playing a game that is aimed at adult collectors or adult Bratz fans. And a lot of people disagreed with me on this point, which, honestly, totally fair, because the publisher of both of these Bratz titles, Outright Games, does specialize in games aimed at very, very young children. So naturally, one would assume this is a game meant for children. However, concerning this game specifically, I do have some sort of personal confirmation that this is intended for an adult audience, because I was offered a deal to be sponsored by this game to promote it to my audience of adult collectors. And I will not mention names, obviously. I will not give any exact quotes. But I will say that the language used in that offer made it very clear that this game is targeted towards adult fans of Bratz. So yet again, that is the perspective I am going to go into this with. And by the way, I turned that offer down. This video is not sponsored in any way, because I felt it was both in my best interest, it was in MGA's best interest, in Outright's best interest for no compensation to be received for this review, just, based on how the last one went. Oh, and by the way, just a quick aside, sorry for the brief hiatus. It wasn't planned. I just recently switched to a new medication for my anxiety problems. And as some of you may know, doing that is a process. There were some side effects, and they kind of thrashed me. I won't lie. I was out of commission for a bit. I'm feeling a lot better now, though. I'm hoping this one, does what it needs to do. Finding the right medication is a journey with lots of twists and turns and bumps, but we'll get there. So without further ado, here is Bratz Rhythm and Style. First impressions, not great. Before starting the story, I went into the style room, just out of curiosity. Obviously, I haven't unlocked any outfit pieces yet, but I'm immediately met with Jade's hair clipping right through her arms in her default standing pose. So I'm not getting the impression we have an excellent attention to detail here. Oops. At least the makeup options are the correct color this time. So that's good. I mean, low bar, but it helps. Anyways, story mode. This time there's two options for difficulty, casual and hard mode. I decided to start with casual, and if it's too easy, maybe I'll just up the difficulty later. And obviously I decided to play as my best girl, Jade. Now, I know I said I would keep an open mind, and I promise you guys I am, but this game already feels remarkably worse than the last one. One of my big problems with the last game was the movement speed when just moving around. And this continues to be a big issue here. The controls are so awkward and sluggish and slippery, and the animations also are just kind of weird. I'm assuming this game has a lot of reused assets. Like, I won't pretend to know all the ins and outs of game design, but I don't remember the last one looking or feeling this awkward. Anyways, there's not much in the way of, like, a prologue or any pretense of a story. The girls head to Stylesville to investigate something about a secret casting director, and this is where the game introduces most of the main mechanics. Shopping areas are where you can buy new clothes. Photo spots are where you can interact with a very rudimentary photo mode. And gyms are where you earn money for some reason. I don't know. But despite the game telling you all about these things as soon as you start, you can't actually visit or interact with any of them until you advance the story a little more. You can talk to some NPCs around, but the game doesn't have as much voice acting as the last one did, and they all will say some variation of, "Wow, I love wearing t-shirts," or "Do you know about pants? Have you ever worn jeans before?" Some very riveting conversations. It is actually supposed to be mechanically useful, as NPCs will give you hints as to what sorts of clothes fall under which category. But I say hints with huge, gigantic quotation marks around it because, do you really need Natalie to tell you that people wear shorts in the summer? Also, when you need to meet a certain criteria, you are directly told how well your outfit matches the theme in the wardrobe, so there's no sort of guesswork involved. Matching an outfit to the necessary theme is one part of the main gameplay. The next part is the runway, which has probably the most bizarrely designed gameplay I have ever encountered. It works like, okay, there's 4 beats. You have to press B on the 4th beat. But you also have to press the corresponding buttons on the screen before the 4th beat, then press B on the 4th beat. The B button is the only one that has to be on beat. You can press the others in any rhythm you want. It just has to take less than 4 beats. And if that sounds weird and kind of confusing and really, really boring, you're right. It is. It also goes on for entirely too long. This sucks. And intermixed with that, there's a photo shoot part where you just push buttons. That's the operative phrase of this game, kind of, pushing buttons. After that portion, you have a proper rhythm game. Except I also put the word proper in these big, giant quotation marks. Now, look, I won't say I'm some kind of big rhythm game aficionado. I'm not. But I've played my fair share of idol-themed gacha games, okay? I've played Project Diva. I at least know how a rhythm game is supposed to feel and function, and I can say without exaggeration, this might be the worst rhythm game I've ever played. For one, the notes are not even a little bit on beat. Like, there's no pretense of any actual rhythm. There's not any sort of feedback when you hit a note, and also it's so boring. I started missing notes, not because it was too difficult or anything, but because I was literally zoning out due to being so incredibly bored. Also, what's with the visuals? Like, the girls, they're barely even dancing. They're literally just kind of awkwardly standing there. Like, what is going on? Yeah, okay, moving on. We find out that this audition or whatever is for a rhythm and style competition called Rockin' Runway. And the game does give a little nod to the fact that Nevra and Roxy are dating, which I thought was really cute. The dialogue is, for the most part, I would say, pretty okay. It's kind of juvenile, and also I think it lacks a lot of the charm and personality that carried Flaunt Your Fashion, especially with it also lacking a lot of the voice acting, but it's serviceable. After completing that, the shop's open. Unlike Flaunt Your Fashion, which had one store per area, this one has a few different themed shops, which is cute, definitely an improvement. And they're themed after Bratz lines, too, which I remember saying should have been the case. So, for example, Play Sports sells mainly sportswear. Sunkissed sells swimsuits and summer-themed outfits. You get the picture. Continuing with the story, though, we meet this absolute mother here, Beatriz, the casting director, and also the Tweevils. Always fun to see them included. The major trends you have to follow in Stylesville in order to continue are summer and athleisure, so I went ahead and stocked up on both items. There's some decent options as far as fashions go, but I will wait until we see the other areas before I start judging exactly what's available. I will say I struggled a little bit to make a decent looking 5-star outfit given what I was working with. I mean, I know you can really just choose whatever and move on, but I have to at least try to look good if I'm playing a Bratz game. Come on. Also, petty gripe, that is definitely Sasha's girls' night out dress. They're in the beach category, and I won't stand for this blatant mischaracterization of Bratz fashions. Anyways, I played the runway again, and mind you, I'm doing this at literally 2 a.m., so if you see me struggling, it's because this game was actually literally putting me to sleep. I beat it though, and it's off to the next area, London, but not without some interference from Casey Kersey and the mother of Pink herself, Burdine Maxwell. Every area basically has the exact same gameplay loop, though. Once you enter, you have to talk to specific people to fulfill some objective. In this case, you need to find out why everyone in London seems to hate the Bratz. The gym also opens up at this point, so you can go there to make some extra coins with a Simon Says minigame a la Space Channel 5, except it's extremely offbeat and unresponsive and janky and goes on for way too long. And after every single set, the trainer says,
"Don't forget to hydrate! Don't 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 forget to hydrate!"
I think I'm gonna hear that line in my sleep tonight. So, someone spread rumors that the Bratz hate punk fashion, so the British are rejecting them. You rectify this by running back and forth across the map, doing a bunch of menial tasks, mainly just talking to people with the correct outfit pieces on, and then you get access to the theater for the next round of the rhythm and style competition. Unlike Flaunt Your Fashion, this game doesn't really have anything in the way of side quests. And that's not to say that the side quests in the last game were, like, anything of substance, but man, Felicia's not even here to ask me to do some modeling with her. And I never thought I would say I would miss that. Oh my god, the way they modeled socks in this game is absolutely atrocious. Ew. Okay, anyways. Before moving on, I decided to up the difficulty so I didn't go comatose while recording my gameplay. The game had said you could change the difficulty anytime, but you can't from inside the game. You have to exit to the main menu, go to the settings from there. Doing so did crash my game, but we got there in the end. On hard mode, it does switch up the buttons you have to press, so there's like an extra layer of challenge, I guess. This is where I ran into a very personal issue, which is I mainly play games on the PS5. I do play Switch games, but very occasionally. I do not have the button layouts on muscle memory like I do with the PS5 buttons. So I see an X and my brain wants to press A. So I struggled with this part, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. Something being difficult does not necessarily translate to fun or engaging game design, though. And if you're someone who actually does have these button layouts on lock, well, I don't think this is going to pose any kind of particular challenge or be fun. I don't think much of anything can make this kind of gameplay fun. It just kind of sucks. With a little mental reconditioning, though, we got there. and then I decided to just switch back to easy mode because I really didn't want to spend more time with this game than absolutely necessary. I won't criticize the rhythm game for being too slow from now on, because I do acknowledge that's my own doing, but just know hard mode isn't any better designed or more fun. It's just harder, as it says. After round 1 of the London competition, the salon and the cosmetics shops both open up. Both of the shopkeepers you talk to say that you can get whatever you want in there for free, but the stuff in the store still costs money, so I guess that was a lie. The primary form of quests, imagine more gigantic air quotes around that word, are talking to people while wearing the outfit pieces they request, and these can occasionally get pretty specific. So if you're like me, and you're spending all your money on clothes that you actually want to buy and wear around this game, then you'll end up broke and lacking the exact jacket and purple chunky sneaker combination that an NPC wants. So you'll have to trek your chopped, unfashionable, destitute ass back up to the gym several times.
Don't forget to hydrate!
Fortunately, you are allowed some customization with the clothes. So if an NPC wants a purple outfit, that is within your power. You can change your outfit to be purple. This is neat, you know, it's always nice to have a little extra customization. Is it super in-depth? No, not really, but it definitely does about what you would expect. The color selection is not the best, admittedly, but I can appreciate that they at least put something like this here. At least I would if I didn't feel constantly railroaded into changing my outfit colors every few minutes because an NPC can't stand to look at me until I'm wearing enough red or purple for her to deign to continue speaking to me. The labels for the styling challenges are also just so arbitrary and completely meaningless sometimes. Like, this NPC wants fishnets. Easy enough, right? Except that even though you can clearly see this outfit has fishnets, it doesn't have the fishnet tag, and therefore does not count. A skirt with a fishnet underlayer, no, also doesn't count. So it's just frustrating sometimes walking all the way back and forth trying to buy the specific item they're looking for. Another example would be how this NPC wants to see you in a crop top. And despite almost every single top in this game being a crop top because it's a Bratz game, there are only a select few that are actually labeled within the game a crop top, and the distinction just seems totally meaningless. It doesn't feel like I'm being creative or challenged at all to just hunt down keywords, checking things off a list. There's no strategic element here. There's not even a fashion element. It's just completely pointless padding to the already minimal gameplay. And with that completely pointless nonsense out of the way, we can do round 2 of London's competition. Which is bad. I mean, you know it's bad. Trust me, the gameplay is not getting any better at this point. It's still bad. Then it's off to Paris. Or it would be, if my game didn't crash again. And then it's off to Paris. The main conflict here is that the Tweevils bought every single designer jacket in the city to prevent the Bratz from getting one. Oh no, whatever shall we do? Well, obviously the solution is to wander around aimlessly performing menial tasks for random NPCs throughout this extremely poorly designed map, including one that has the worst French accent I think I have ever heard.
Yes, this is it. The spark of inspiration that will forge my new design.
Well, Widowmaker here turns out to be the designer of said jackets and gives us a prototype for helping her out. Then it's round 1 of the Paris competition. Still bad. Still not fun. What's new? There's no buffer between round 1 and round 2 this time. You just unlock a new store. Which, by the way, with each subsequent area, there's actually fewer stores, and actually, therefore, fewer available clothes, which was a very interesting gameplay decision. Anyways, bad rhythm game time. Then it's off to Milan, or Milan, as the game chooses to pronounce it.
Because your next destination is Milan!
At this point, I'd accumulated enough money that I thought I could comfortably buy whatever I wanted and never have to visit that accursed gym again. But alas, my hubris was to be my downfall because Chloe wants to go to the gym and warm up. And that's why you're going out all as chopped as hell. Never talk to me again, Chloe. So here I am again, doing this. Please, save me. Get me out of here.
Don't forget to hydrate!
After that, you have another confrontation with the Tweevils, and you need to do 4 of those awful, horrible, agonizing pose duels in a row to proceed. And then you can do it all over again with round 1 of the Milan competition. The phrase mind-numbing honestly sounds a little too harsh, but honestly, it's kind of apt. It's just so incredibly repetitive. It's the same thing over and over and over. Even the segments where you're walking around the map feel repetitive because it's the same cycle of NPC needs to see you in a specific outfit. Go buy an outfit. Go talk to the NPC again. There's absolutely no variation. You never feel like you're really accomplishing anything. And the story is so minimal that you don't even have that to look forward to. Anyways, afterwards, you confront the Tweevils again. They challenge you to 2 more pose duels, which you have to complete before Milan round 2. So, more of doing what we were just doing several times in a row. Oh, you can only imagine how much fun I'm having. If you see me doing badly in the rhythm game, it's because I literally gave up and just wanted this game to be over with already. My torment won't end so easily though, because we're off to the next destination. When you arrive, you're told that your suitcases are missing, meaning all the clothes you've bought thus far and all the money you've accumulated in the game are now inaccessible for this portion. So you need to win even more of those goddamn pose duels around town, earn some money, and then buy the right items to continue. I would say I would welcome the variety in objectives, but this is by far probably the worst part of the game. If for no other reason, the fact this map is an absolute nightmare to navigate. The girls do see Felicia here, and yes, my life did flash before my eyes, but fortunately she's not here to do any modeling, and she would be happy to know that the position as my new sleep paralysis demon has been filled by that very hydrated gym girl.
Don't forget to hydrate!
Oh, here's something really fun that happened. There was an objective in the north of the commercial district, it said. So I decided to go, north, up and around the top part of the map. But for some reason, that side was blocked off just from one side. So even though I was right next to the objective, I had to go all the way to the bottom of the map and then back up again to get on the right side of the barrier. Incredible game design, guys. Really show-stopping work here. After doing all that, it's round 1 of the competition, except my game crashed in the middle of that. So, round 1 of the competition, still not fun, still terrible, and a bunch of running around back and forth to find your suitcases. God, the travesties this game makes me wear to complete objectives. I'm so sorry, Jade. I know you would never. Round 2 of the competition is actually against Felicia herself. You already know what I'm going to say. But while celebrating, there's an encounter with yet another saboteur. Turns out that the girl in the mask was responsible for these missing suitcases. But the Bratz decide that's a problem to deal with later, so it's off to the grand finale, thank God, in Tokyo. Once you arrive in Tokyo, you're greeted by Kumi, one of my favorite Bratz girls, so it's always good to see her. But immediately upon arrival, there's a blackout. So you have to run around repairing generators, which puts you at odds with more of these mysterious masked girls. But after getting the power back on and starting round 1, you find out that the leader of the masked girl gang is your opponent. Turns out she was misled by Berdine into believing the Bratz had cheated their way to the top, but concedes that their talent must be genuine after being beaten. Unfortunately, it's not over just yet because the Tweevils show up and declare one more surprise round. Winner takes all. Because they can do that, I guess, and my suffering knows no end. Fortunately, that doesn't take very long, then it's back to Stylesville for one more. Just one more, and it's over. The game's over. I'm free. Okay, so, Bratz, Rhythm and Style. I beat the entire game in one run, in a single night, and even though I tried to really take my time with it, I would estimate that there's about 4 hours worth of content here, maybe 5 if you really stretch it out. Do I consider this to be a particularly good game? No. Did I have fun with it? Not even like a little bit. But would I say it's a total waste of money? Yes, absolutely. Oh my god, are you kidding me? 40 full entire doll hairs for this. That's ridiculous. That's inexcusable. That's like actually criminal. Someone needs to be in jail for this. If I had actually promoted this game to my audience, if I had told people to go out and buy this game, I would actually be embarrassed. Like, I would actually literally feel ashamed. There's no reason to buy this game, not for full price. I would even say like $5 is really pushing it. It doesn't improve on the last game at all. There are some fun additions, like a little more customization, but still not nearly enough to say that this is a worthwhile game. Like, look, I love Bratz. I love fashion. I love these quote-unquote girly games. This game revolving around fashion and makeup and runways is not the issue. The issue is that it's poorly made, poorly optimized, poorly designed, and just not fun. There's simply no reason for this game to exist. It's 2025. There are plenty of examples of what gamers want when they look for a casual, low-stakes, girly game. There are so many better options out there, better things to play, games that actually respect their audience, that respect their medium, and aren't charging $40 for slop. And that's just that on that. Bad game, don't buy it, it's not even worth the morbid curiosity. Goodbye.
Don't forget to